2021 has officially arrived, and this could be the year that either makes or breaks Red Dead Online. Here's hoping that by late spring, early summer, we get a new update that is awesome, that hopefully is a hit and brings a lot of people back to Red Dead Online and keeps interest in Red Dead Online going for years to come. A few days ago, in the community tab of my channel, I left a poll question for you all to participate in. By the way, we got nearly 600 votes, so thank you so much to everybody that took the time to cast a vote. And thank you to everybody that left a comment. We'll go over some of those comments as well in this video. The premise of the Red Dead Online 2021 wish list. What would you like to see added to Red Dead Online in 2021? So there was a clear winner out of, at the time of recording this video, 581 votes. And the clear winner between heist, properties, new roles, role expansions, other was heists, which include bank heists, train heists, stagecoach, riverboats, etc. 61% of you voted for heists. 17% voted for properties, the ability to own either a shack, apartment, home, hotel room, cabin, mansion, etc. 12% voted for new roles like a lawman role, outlaw role, prospector, wrangler, angler, I know that rhymes, etc. 7% voted for other, including like new land of opportunity missions, more stall space in the stables, the Rockstar Editor as well as the Rockstar Creator, different lobby types, fixes, etc. And at the bottom of the poll at 3% was role expansions for the trader, collector, moonshiner role, as well as naturalist role. So obviously we can tell right away what the least popular thing people voted for. The role expansions. Obviously a lot of people didn't really care for the bounty hunter expansion. So if this is the plan for Rockstar going forward, expanding the roles, trader, collector, moonshiner, naturalist, I think that's a very bad idea. It's obviously something the community does not want Rockstar, and hopefully they're going to deviate from that course and give us something else entirely. At the very least, some new, exciting, Wild West feeling roles like the lawman role, an outlaw role, etc. As well as hopefully heists, which is the most requested thing so far, along with properties. Now, some of you in the comment section were either asking for all of the above, which I too would be in favor of, or you also asked why did I not have more options, like at the very least an all of the above option. Well, YouTube only allows me to have 5 different options for you to vote on. And I wanted to see specifically what the community was wanting more above everything else. I think that the majority of you would have probably voted all the above, so that would have gotten most likely the majority vote. But we were trying to be specific in order to give some feedback to Rockstar. If anybody at Rockstar happens to watch the video, then they would look at the poll. They would see that nearly 600 people voted in the poll that are part of the Red Dead Online community, which gives them a sample of the Red Dead Online community as a whole and maybe a better idea which direction Rockstar needs to go with Red Dead Online going forward with future updates, and what directions they need to abandon, like, I don't know, role expansions. Now let's go over some comments. No says, I really don't understand Rockstar with what they've done to Red Dead Online. The reason GTA was successful was because they provided content, making a bigger player base, and then they got greedy, but people stuck with it because GTA was already so big. It doesn't work vice versa because no one will buy your gold bars without things to spend them on. Dylan says, I'd like to see any of the first 3. Role expansions are exactly what the community does not want. Seeing how they nerf the daily challenges and will more than be happily charge you gold for your role. So yeah, unfortunately, in order to have access to the roles, obviously you have to pay gold bars, which makes it more difficult now with daily challenges being nerfed. Mike says it would be nice if we had all these things in online, but most like others, I choose heists. Gaming Guy says heists won't be soon because Rockstar wants to finish the first existing role expansions, which once again, I think most of us feel like that's a bad idea. So Gaming Guy thinks it'll be like 2022. Eldavo, heists, definitely heists. But on the flip side, not everybody wants heists. Like ESP, for example. I don't understand why people want heists. It doesn't make the world a better place. It's just another instanced mission, more in depth with what the game needs is more interactivity in real world around the world. Okay, so I think the reason why people want heists is because of how enjoyable heists have been in GTA Online. Plus, it's also a way to make money in GTA Online. And the one thing that people want more than anything else in Red Dead Online is to be an outlaw or a lawman. And more specifically, when it comes to outlaws, what better way to flex as an outlaw than to plan and do prep work and setups and strategies regarding heists and robbing banks and trains and stagecoaches, mansions, riverboats, etc. Gizmo, I don't want heists with load times, matchmaking, randoms, taking me out of the lobby as much as I want the ability to simply rob a stagecoach, train, bank, store, NPC. And I think that there's a way to kind of do both where you have like these bigger heists with setups and whatnot. And then you could also have some dynamic robberies pop up where you happen to see a random NPC galloping around on a horse, just like you can do in story mode. You have the ability to rob wagons, stagecoaches, and passers-by. So maybe Rockstar will give us the ability to simply do that in free roam, and perhaps even rob tellers at the bank. You won't get as much as robbing the bank vault itself, but maybe robbing the tellers will get you a few bucks along with a dishonorable points and getting wanted by law enforcement. Shadow, either heists or rolls, not roll expansions though, something new. That's the problem with the expansions to the rolls. It's been there, done that, and people just want something new. They want something interesting and exciting and fun, and the fact that you go down the road of expanding a currently existing role is kind of a retread, a repeat of what's been done before. Sweet basement properties would be cool, but knowing Rockstar, it would be a mansion, so you could just sit in and do nothing. I do hope that eventually we get properties, and there's actually purpose to the properties, as I've talked about prior in my property ideas video, which you all are welcome to check out if you haven't already done so. Ellie, I like the idea that GeauxBurns shared about the heist update once Rockstar puts it out. It will be the only thing that the community will demand, and thus leaving people more prone to be disappointed with smaller updates. If at least we could get a substantial lawman, outlaw, role, plus properties. Well, people are always going to be disappointed no matter how hard Rockstar tries, but this is obviously the big thing that a lot of people want, is our own version of heist in Red Dead Online. It'll bring people back to the game. It'll give people something to do in the game, another way to make money. And from there, Rockstar can continue adding future roles as well. And they could go back and forth. They could add some new roles, they could add properties, and they could eventually add sequels to the heist updates, similar to what they've done in GTA Online, from heist to Doomsday Heist to the Casino Heist to most recently the Cayo Perico Heist. Brian says Red Dead Online fans want the heist update. And if we go by the poll, it seems like over 60% in my poll agree with you, Brian. They want the heist update as well. Arclight, I think it's time for us to be able to make big purchases, something like a house. We never got mansions in GTA, so I think that making our own houses would be nice, and the ability to upgrade, make it personal, it might be good. Make sure it has a good foundation and future things. The external things, I don't think you're going to be able to do. I think that you'll be able to buy a mansion or a home, and maybe there'll be some interior options for you, a bit of customization, but it's Rockstar we're talking about, so don't expect the ability to customize the exterior look of your house. That's just, I think, asking for a little too much. Fat Chinese Gaming says Rockstar Editor, so I can go back and make better content. Okay, well, I mean, the Rockstar Editor is definitely a choice, and the Rockstar Creator. I really hope Rockstar adds both of those to Red Dead Online eventually. Sweet says, I want a mansion expansion. It gives us a place to explore. More bounty towns, collectibles, missions. Obviously, you'd have to buy something to get there, probably a few gold bars to be smuggled across the San Luis, most likely. I love the idea of a Mexico expansion. Hopefully, eventually that is in the plans for the future of Red Dead Online. Probably not in 2021. I'd say that's probably further along. But I hope that eventually we do get to go to Nuevo Paraíso somewhere down the road. Demon Zoro says, all I want is heist, a house, and some more story missions, and maybe a new gun. Professor Dumbledick says, I voted heist, but I'll keep it real and say it's probably going to be more minimalistic BS, and this game is going to die even more. Well, I hope that Rockstar has something bigger planned for the next major update, which once again, in my opinion, will most likely be late May, early June at the earliest. MC says, I want a ranch so all my horses can be chilling together. Wrangler roll would be nice. I did do a Wrangler ideas video in the ideas playlist along with my properties idea and see a Mexico expansion idea, etc. Check out my ideas playlist for more of my ideas. Avery says, ranch, just like in the epilogue with my actual horses. A lot of you would really love a ranch roll. It goes back to the same issue. There's only so many ranches in Red Dead Online, and I don't know if Rockstar would physically add new ranches. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I really don't know if that would end up being a thing. It's a cool idea, and if they do the rancher roll right, it could be awesome. I just am concerned that maybe they won't be able to do it to the way we hope and dream for. DeForest Smith says, ability to drop items for players in Posse, add more items to loot like jewelry, watches, earrings to be more actually equipped items like pocket watches, but most of the heists with loot boxes filled with gold, silver, money. Heists is absolutely a must, I think, and I believe that most of the community feel the same way. But I don't know, I feel like we already have a lot of loot items already that we can loot off bodies and sell defenses. But I see what you're talking about. You want the ability to actually put a pocket watch on or earrings if you happen to have a female character. Maybe that's just more accessories that they could add in the clothing store in the future. I guess we'll just have to see how that goes when it comes to future clothing items as well as accessories. Robert says everybody wants a mansion, but what do you do with it? It's like GTA Online's penthouse. Whoever spends time there, that is a very valid point, Robert. And that's why there has to be purpose to a mansion or a home, a nice home, like a heist room or the ability to take a bath or maybe a desk where you can like telegraph to Krebs, Maggie or Marcel or Harriet or Madame Nazar. I went over a lot of this in my property ideas video. I don't really want to retread on that, so if you're curious about it, feel free and check out that video. Rob heist would be nice. The ability to just free roam stagecoach, rob them, and trains would be better. More action, less Old West business simulator is what I hope for. Side notes, some story characters that are not exceedingly annoying and actually want to work with you, not spray you and lock you out for a set time. Grunt says, I don't actually prefer extra stalls over the other options, but whether the next update is, if it does not include extra stable stalls, I'm going to be ticked. And that is something a lot of us were disappointed in. I mean, a lot of things were disappointing about the bounty expansion. One thing is the fact they added some new horses, new foxtrotters, new Turkmens, and some super Mustangs, but no new stall space. And to make matters worse, you do not get any money back or any sort of discount coupon whenever you have to get rid of a horse in order to make room for a new horse because you've already maxed out your stall space. Hopefully that's something Rockstar will remedy in the future. Michael says we need property like to be a rancher or city boy. It's about time this and Heist will bring players back to the game. After the daily challenges got nerfed, maybe this could help. A lot of you definitely want a rancher role. It's a very ambitious idea. And like I talked about a moment ago, it could be done right by Rockstar. But then again, there's a very real possibility that they may not do that right. For one thing, like we talked about, they would have to add, I think, additional ranches to the game. Because there are a few ranches, but I think they're already owned by other characters in Red Dead Online. So how they could make a rancher role work remains to be seen. But maybe it's a future plan of theirs. And if they make it work, then all the better. Luis says Rockstar is going to give us the photography role. We're going to be able to take wild pictures of animals, plants, NPCs, level up the role, only buying a new camera that costs 100 gold bars because the old ones are trash, including my $500 advanced camera. That's sad. Yeah, I don't like that as a role idea, Luis. Nothing personal, but I don't think that'll ever be an idea video. But thanks for the suggestion. And finally, Dark Mounted Wolf, instead of the ability cards, something like a spirit animal ability to have harder skin, tough weather ability, a pack leader when posses get extra P, and finally the killer instinct. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for the ability cards. I really wish they weren't a thing in Red Dead Online, but unfortunately they are. But it would be nice if, for example, with the legendary garments, and if you wore like a wolf garment or a bear garment or a cougar garment or a panther garment, one of the predator garments, then maybe those animals would not attack you whenever they happen to be nearby. That would be awesome. Maybe that's just asking for too much. When it comes to the poll, I really wish that I had more options on YouTube besides just 5. But I think after a while, it just gets too long when it comes to people that have like a whole bunch of like choices for you to vote for. in a poll. I feel like 5 is the sweet spot, but I do once again thank everybody that took the time to cast their vote. And there are some of these that I would have put separately, like Land of Opportunity missions and fixes, different lobby types, as well as more stall space, adding the Rockstar Editor and the creator, like Fat was suggesting. And I think that, as we talked about earlier, Rockstar, I understand that most of your employees were having to work from home in 2020 because of the bug. And they were just probably making do with the tools that they had at their disposal, which is why my theory is the Bounty Hunter expansion was the best route they could go under the circumstances. However, obviously the majority of the community do not really care for the idea of an expansion role revolved around the trader, collector, moonshiner, naturalist. We want something else, like a brand new, exciting, fun role, not a photography role, a lawman or an outlaw role, or a better way to earn gold with like a prospector role would be kind of cool. The ability to break in horses, sell them with a wrangler role, and maybe even the ability to sell our own personal horses finally. That would be nice. Some people even want a fisherman role, aka an angler role. So there's definitely ideas out there for future roles, like some of you want a rancher role as well that Rockstar could eventually make, and hopefully they'll be good. But the big to-do, the main attraction that most of the community are asking for right now, besides properties is definitely up there. And you know something? I think that would be a great update if they did like heists and properties, because as we talked about before, data miners have already discovered information that properties will eventually be coming to Red Dead Online, and maybe they'll lump in properties with a heist update. That way, maybe we'll have like a heist planning room similar to the high-end apartments in GT Online. So you'll have the ability to finally own a property, and you'll have the ability to go do some heists from small banks to big banks, some train robbery, stagecoach robbery, mansions, riverboat robberies. And if they also add some robbery dynamics in the free roam map, I think that would be very appealing to players as well. Similar to what we can do in Red Dead Redemption 2 with Arthur Morgan. And maybe they'll even make it to where you can like steal a wagon, right? Similar to, once again, story mode, and sell wagons to fences for profit. Maybe they'll have like a 48-minute cooldown similar to GT Online whenever you steal like a Sentinel XL, right? Or one of the other really rare cars that can give you a few bucks. You take it to Los Santos Customs, you sell it, you get like $15,000, $17,000. Then you have to wait 48 minutes after a cooldown to sell another one. Something like that would be kind of interesting. The ability to go steal a wagon or a stagecoach or a buggy, take it to a fence, and get a few bucks for that. It's just another way that players could actually be an outlaw in Red Dead Online, along with the heist update as well. And it would be awesome if you had the ability to like be a highwayman and rob people on horseback, or just rob people that are in a stagecoach. And maybe eventually they'll add like a passenger train instead of just the freight train. And on a rare occasion that the passenger train spawns, players have the ability to board it and rob it either solo or as a crew. But I also want to see something a little bit grander in the form of heists, along with all the setups, the replayability, maybe even like the Cayo Perico heist, the ability to actually do it solo would be cool. And even with a posse of 4 with some different approach options, that would be nice. Anyway, so that's our wish list for 2021. I realize we're probably not going to get most of the stuff that's on our wish list. I hope that a lot of the issues that the game still has, bugs, issues, crashes, disconnects, infinite loading screen bugs, I hope a lot of that gets resolved, Rockstar. But I hope that you take this poll, if you're watching, and look at it as a census of the larger Red Dead Online community in order to give you a better idea what the Red Dead Online community wants and doesn't want. Majority vote, 61% once again to heists, 17% to properties, new roles, 12%, and everything else that would count as quote-unquote other is 7%, and at the very bottom, role expansions. The least popular thing you can do, Rockstar, going forward in Red Dead Online. My advice is focus on what the community actually wants. That way, the community will be happy, and more people will come back to Red Dead Online, and that's how you have to do it. You have to listen to the customer. You have to listen to the players, the those of us that play this game on a regular basis, especially the more hardcore players, the more committed players to Red Dead Online, those of us that have been sending you feedback and making videos and tweeting you, asking you, begging you, and pleading you for all these things that I've mentioned and probably some other stuff as well. But maybe, just maybe, somebody at Rockstar at least took a look at the poll and looked at the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. Anyways, your thoughts, your views, your opinions, hopes, dreams, wishes for Red Dead Online in 2021, as always, welcome below in the comments section.